Hey, it's the Rooster, Bobby Leach for the TimesWeekly.com, coming to you live for Cheap Seats alongside my partner, Big Toe.
Times Weekly viewers, how's everybody out there doing out there? Huh? We're talking about football, more football. Playoffs are coming. Playoffs. Last week, though, we need to talk about the people who did not make the playoffs, Rooster.
There were some teams that did not make the playoffs last week, and before we get to the playoffs and break down our area teams and who they'll be facing next week, let's talk about some of the teams that didn't get there in our area top 10.
Was there anybody that was close and just didn't make it by that much? Huh.
There was arguably there was one team. Maybe there was one team out of our top 12, our area top 12, for the Times Weekly, and certainly our area has expanded. Even for the Times Weekly, next year we won't have a top 12. We're going to have a top 20.
Top 20? Wow.
Yeah, we're going to go from a top 10 to a top 20 because we got so many.
Top 20, the BS will sure be flowing then, huh?
Yeah, so there's going to be 20 schools out there talking, but let's talk a little bit about our 12 seed in the area. Joliet Central took on Lincoln Way Central on Friday night at Lincoln Way Central last week. Lincoln Way Central, a team that finishes their season. They didn't make the playoffs. Finishes their season with 4 wins, so a considerable improvement over last year. And they whipped up on the Steelman 37-0. That's the third game in a row that the Steelman have not scored a point. Not a point. So
what can you say? What can you say?
Close out your season with 3 shutouts, but you have to take a look at some of the competition that they played too in those 3 shutouts. I don't know what's going to happen with that program. It's going to take some time. I mean, there's no easy answer to Joliet Central. If you're a Joliet Central fan, you're going to have a lot of patience because this is a conference that is getting stronger. I think some teams are going to do this every year. Some teams are just going to stay here, and they're going to be kept there because. They just, in that conference. I think the best thing for Joliet Central is to find a different conference to play.
Yeah, I think so, too.
It'd be nice to see both Joliet schools jump out of that conference, but that's just me.
Go into the blue?
Yep.
Go into the blue.
So Joliet Central, in any event, finishes 0-9 on the season, and it's going to be a long off season for them. They're going to have to hit the weights hard. And then another team, the only other team in our area that finished 0-9 was Romeoville, and I personally saw that Romeoville game on Friday night, and I got to tell you, it was painful to watch. If you're a Spartan fan, it was difficult to watch because ultimately Minooka came into town. Minooka, I'm a little surprised that they didn't make the playoffs this year. I mean, they had, look at their playoff points. My God, these guys had an enormous amount of playoff points. They just didn't have the wins to go along with it. And what I think really cost Minooka was that Plainfield South loss.
Weren't they switching their offense in midseason?
Yep.
Or something like that? Went back to the double wing, I think?
Yeah, but they let it all hang out on Friday night. I mean, Friday night they were up 34-0 before Romeoville started,
Before Romeoville got out of the locker room? What?
Right. I mean, it just there wasn't much of a match. I mean, Romeoville could not move the ball. When they did move the ball and would get penetration, there'd be a turnover, there'd be a 20, 25 yards worth of penalties on one of the drives. They had a nice drive, early in the second quarter, got to about the 22-yard line, ended up punting from their own 46. You got 1st and 10 from the Indian 22.
Wasn't there a pick six for a touchdown too or something? Yeah, they drove it all down to the 5 maybe.
There was. I mean, you can take a look at this clip right here. Here was the pick six, and it looks like Van Buell was throwing off his back foot here, but there was nobody out there. The receiver didn't break on the ball, and it just left fluttering. Take a look.
Jake Van Buell's pass intercepted by number 40.
You can see that, that was a big play in the game. I mean, that pretty much blew the game wide open. At that point, the game was blown wide open. Yes, Romeoville did put some points on the board at the end of the game and avoided the shutout, but we hit that right on the head. Last week, we called it in the newspaper, 40 to 14 is what we called it in the paper, and it was 40 to 15. It was 34 to 14, though. There's 22 seconds left in the game, and Minooka runs back a kick. The last 22 seconds of that game took 10 minutes. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, I guess I won't say the last 22 seconds, but the last 2 minutes, took 10 minutes to finish that game. I mean, it was because the teams just kept scoring. At the end there, and I think that was largely to do with, you had your backups in, your playing guys, and
all the guys that haven't played all year. Okay, maybe it's the time you should. Let's get all the seniors.
Yeah, right. That was their Rudy moment, right?
Get all the seniors.
Jesus. And everybody goes right out. What do I do? What do I do?
Stay there.
Stay there, man. Stay there. No, I mean in the end zone. And by the time they figured out where the heck they were going, somebody was scoring on them. So I don't know. That was the big, in the end, though, I got to talk to Coach Paul Forsyth, first-year coach at Minooka, and I asked the coach, I said, hey, you got one season under your belt now, what do you think? And here's what he had to say. It's your first season as a head coach. You're walking off the field the first time as a head coach, and you finally got one underneath your belt. What'd you take away from the season? What'd you learn from it that you weren't expecting? And what do you hope to apply next year?
Yeah, how about it? This is like an iceberg, and you can only see the tip. And doing this, you put your head underwater, you can see the whole thing. So I knew that I didn't know, and that's what I knew going in, that there was going to be things that I just didn't know, and there's no manual for it. Just like being a dad, there's no manual for it. You have to learn on the job. So there's no institution that can prepare you. I felt good about it, so we want to do it again next year.
Hey, Coach Forsyth, he was positive at the end of the year. I mean, it's got to be, it was a difficult season for Minooka, no question about it. They lost some rivalry games in the SBC. They had a really tough schedule. They played Morris and Providence in week 1 and 2. So they really went with a monster schedule. That's why they had monster playoff points. Had they gotten 5 wins, if they win that game against Plainfield South, they're playing, and they'd be a dangerous team to play in. But they couldn't put it together. And Coach Kuna after the game too. I don't know what it is about Coach Kuna. But Coach Jeff Kuna for the Romeo Spartans.
He sees rose. He's got his rose-colored glasses on. He sees the good in people, like the good witch Glendale, the Wizard of Oz.
The thing is, the bottom line is, he's positive. Here, check out what he had to say about the finishing up 0-9 on the year. You lose more football games in the long run than you win.
Yeah.
And so getting positive about the program right now, it's about hitting the weight room and
skill development in the off season.
Right.
Guys doing playing other sports is always.
And you got some kids coming up on the sophomore team that look pretty good.
We got a nice group of skilled players in the summer. We got a nice group of linemen in our offensive line on our sophomore team. There are big kids, and and a couple of them, this is their first time playing football. So we got 5 big kids coming up there that can play offensive line, and with a little bit of off-season training, working on some speed, agility, quickness stuff, hitting the weight room hard, and then, a lot of them play a second sport, or some of them even play 3. So, they're going to keep active and become better athletes. So that when the summer comes around, our skill level should be much higher. And then obviously on the offensive line, we're bringing more back than what we're losing with only having 13 seniors. So, we're just naturally, we should be better right now already on the numbers coming back and the positions we have them coming back. And we're going to have a lot more depth, too.
Okay. All right, so what do you think, Coach Stone?
What can you possibly say about Romeoville?
Well, the fact of the matter is, barring all excuses, they did have some injuries to contend with this year. They
have 30 guys?
18 seniors. 18 seniors on their football team. So you're not going to win a lot of football.
There was a lot of seniors on the debate team, though, I heard. The debate team was going down the state. But what's the debate team?
Lockport, another team that really was a shocker this year after last year. They last couple of seasons, they've been battling. They've been kind of that 500 ball club. Last year they had a pretty good year. They had 6 wins. They got into the playoffs. And
this year they couldn't find their offense.
Yeah, this year they couldn't find their offense. However, they did put up 10 points. We thought we put last week that against Bolingbrook. Bolingbrook would beat them 33-0. Well, Bolingbrook got 34 points, so we were right on that half. But Lockport prevented a shutout. That was 34-10. 34-10 at Lockport Friday night. A loss, ending their season with only 1 win. 1-8. The only team they beat this year?
Joliet Central.
Joliet Central. That's it. It's hard to
say. It's Joliet Central. We love Joliet Central. Don't get us wrong.
Do.
We're not dissing you or nothing. We love you guys.
But Lockport really, really is struggling, and Lockport's going to have to figure out what's going on, in their camp in the summer. They're really going to have to hit the weights hard.
Got to find some playmakers.
they got to find an offense. Stat.
Playmakers.
We need an offense. We need an offense.
Playmakers to the field.
Yeah, they need playmakers. They need an offense. They've got to be able to move the ball. Their defense was decent. I mean, their defense was decent. It wasn't stellar, but it was decent. But they just simply, shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again. And they just, until the Porters come back with an offense, they're going to be in trouble.
Now the coach, he'll figure something out.
Yep. Joliet West.
It's a mystery school. I mean, one week you don't know they're great. They can't be stopped. Next week you don't know what you're getting. Kind of like a box of chocolates. Am I a rooster?
Yeah. Yeah, life is like a box of chocolates, and so is football. But I got to tell you something. All kidding aside, I was impressed with Joliet West in a couple of games that I saw them, and the last game that I witnessed against Homewood Flossmoor, I was not impressed. I mean, the players that are there that can play the game, but it takes more than 7, 8 guys on a football field to win. Joliet West still won 3 football games this year. Granted, Joliet Central, was one of those wins. Lockport, and I got to tell you something. It's been at least 6 years, maybe longer.
6 years or more, yeah.
6 years. It's certainly since Joliet West has been a program by themselves. They haven't beaten Lockport, so to beat Lockport, that was a step up for them this year. And I know Lockport was down, but that was still a good game, and they beat them well. I think West is right on the cusp. I think that they definitely took a step in the right direction this year. Their program took a step in the right direction. The seniors, gritted that out, and they righted the ship. So I think it's going in the right direction. I think Coach Aubrey and his staff will have a good offseason to look at. They're not going to play Plainfield South next year in their non-conference. So they picked up a different non-conference opponent, and we won't talk about that yet, but different non-conference opponent. So
who's their non-conference opponent?
Oh
my goodness. Okay, maybe good chance for victory.
Yeah. So hey, I think at the end of the day, I think that Joliet West will have a shot next year.
I hope so. I like Coach Aubrey. I like the field, good team.
Plainfield South, another team,
another mystery team.
Well, at the beginning of the season, I'll have to say that I did not give Plainfield South much hope of winning any games. I really thought that they'd go 1-8, 2-7. Or even 0-9. I mean, I just felt like Plainfield South was not a good football team. I didn't see the size. I mean, Clifton Garrett, obviously, defensively they had some weapons. Ricky Luna, decent quarterback, could run the ball a little bit. Again, weapons. Cody Voda, another weapon for them. But they did not have a solid running game this year. I don't think that they had enough. At running back, and I don't think that they had enough on their defense outside of their backers.
No, I agree.
So, I don't know. I mean, Plainfield South finished 4-5. Damn it! I haven't coughed all fucking weekend until I start doing this thing. There we go. I'll just go back to this.
Plainfield South finished 4-5.
I don't know. Plainfield South again. I think that they had a good season considering.
How was your playoff points?
Playoff points were decent.
You think if they would have beat Plainfield Central?
Oh yeah, I think they beat Plainfield Central. They're playing. I think that they could have slipped in. You know what? It's hard to say though. I mean, that's really hard to say.
That's apples and oranges, huh?
That's apples and oranges. Neither here nor there. But this is that part of it. So sorry, guys, your season's over. Now we're getting back into the playoff area here. Oh, I got this one too.
Playoffs, huh?
Yep, that season's over too. So now we're over here, and we've got some playoff teams to talk about. We can talk about one, Plainfield Central. Plainfield Central finished 6-3. They needed those 6 wins, but we called this last week that they were going to get smoked by Oswego, and they got
smoked.
They got smoked. Welcome to the playoffs, and we kind of made light of this last week, but this is why we did this. You're going to now face, in our opinion, the best team in 7A in Lincoln Way East.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and you got to go to Lincoln Way East to play them.
You got to go to their house.
So, I mean, the equivalent, I was trying to factor, what would the equivalent of that be? That would kind of be like, maybe like the University of St. Francis taking on the Chicago Bears. I mean, that's about, I mean, are they a good football team? Sure, they're a good football team. They got good football players, but are they going to beat Lincoln Way East? Nope. I mean, Oswego hung one on them last week, and Oswego I don't think can run with Lincoln Way East. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. I think Oswego is just a shade below Lincoln Way East. I think Lincoln Way East has to beat themselves against Oswego. But Oswego certainly has got a shot. I think Oswego's going to go all the way down to the semifinals. I mean, that's where on my pick I've got. You can see right there. See, you see that right there?
Wow,
So,
really over there?
Yeah.
Wow, that beating the Thornton Fractional. Okay, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. But anyhow, we think Oswego's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they've been a good team.
And Lincoln Way East, I think, is a better football team. So what's that say?
Oh boy, Coach Jackson. I mean. Guys, why don't you come close to the camera here? Time for the Dane train. Okay?
There you go.
Time for the Dane train. Dane Muscatelli. Dane Muscatelli is the fastest kid. He's fearless. Put him in. Let him sweep outside. Oh, well, don't sweep outside. Don't go outside. You got Vanderhoff and O'Grady on the outside. That might be painful. Go inside. Do the tackles. You got the big 99 defensive lineman. Oh, boy. Something I think maybe a good chance to beat Lincoln Way is I've seen them 4 times, okay? Now, your offense has to be fast, okay? You have to be fast, okay? You got to make them over-pursue, okay? Maybe a couple screen passes, maybe a couple dunks or dinks. You got to let these guys over-pursue because they're hungry. Okay, bad idea because they're not hungry. They don't over-pursue, okay? They're very, very patient. They're mean. They're vicious.
And they're going to lay the smack
down. And they're
down.
just going to...
They're going to lay the smack down. Because I'm going to tell you something. Last year, they lost 7-0 at home against Wheaton Warrenville South, and they were stunned.
Yeah.
And I think that is still salt in the wound for Lincoln Way East fans. And I guarantee you, they're not going to take anybody lightly here.
You know what that is? Chip on the shoulder.
Yep, they got the chip.
And I'm playing that all year.
I think that I know they put Brian Blair. Wildcats put Brian Blair out at receiver spot. They got Devon Goodlow, who's gonna have to find a way to get the ball.
Yeah, they got
to get the ball to Goodlow. Deep. He's going to have to go up and be athletic. Come down with some plays, a couple of jump balls. But
he can't be afraid to take a hit because they're going to hit you.
Nope, they're going to hit you. So again, that's this week. So I don't know. I mean, Lincoln Way East. I think they're going to cruise this week. I think it's going to the score against Plainfield Central, Lincoln Way East. What do you think the score is going to be?
We got a lot of good guys. Got a guys we know on Plainfield Central. Let's take back to when they played Plainfield
Don't
South.
Be a Sally. Now, see, he's going to go back. He's being a homer now.
Jake Meter emailed us. He texted us. He says, God, Coach, why didn't you pick us? Okay? Because the fact is, Lincoln Way East is better.
Right.
Lincoln Way East is better. All our guys on Plainfield Central. I mean, don't email us, don't text us or nothing. Okay? The score is going to be at least 42-0. And I'm sorry, Coach Jackson. I know you're a fan of our show and everything, but I've seen these guys play 4 times. They got a chip on their shoulder. I mean, they're all businesslike. I mean, for kids, they're businesslike. It's amazing.
I think it's going to be a bigger spread on offense. I think it's going to be 49-14 or 49-13. I do think that Plainfield Central's got an offense that they can score the ball. They can score. They can move the ball, and I think that in the fourth quarter, the game's going to be out of hand by first half. So I don't think that Lincoln Way East is not going to be in control of the game. I think it's going to be something along the lines of 34-0.
Yeah,
at halftime.
He'll put the backups in,
and the backups will get in, and they'll get to play. And I still think that Central's going to get on the board, avoid the shutout, but I don't think Central's got a shot.
No, I'm sorry.
You guys don't have a snowball's chance, and you know where.
Sorry about your luck, guys.
I don't know. I think it's and that's what I talk about being a bubble team.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's better to play the spoiler and save the grief because you're going to get in the playoffs and get just.
You're going to walk with your head held tight.
You're going to get walloped. So that's a big game. Joliet Catholic, JCA lost, as we said. They lost to Bennett. They lost their last 2 games of the season. And we had said, hey, maybe they're going to sit back. And Tyler Reeds did get in there. Tyler Reeds did play. Isaac did not, but Reeds got in. How would you like to be a 5 seed and have to play a 12 seed in JCA? JCA is a bubble team, but they got the 12 seed, which is a pretty generous seed. But they were defending runner-up champions, so, but, I mean, it's almost not fair.
I don't know whoever picked that shade, God must be looking down and went like this, going, this is where they're going right here. Put them right here. Okay.
I just don't know, I don't know how they got the football gods to go with them, but Elmwood Park? Really?
Elmwood Park.
Elmwood Park.
Hey, we had a lot of nice bars we went to back in the day in Elmwood Park.
Yeah.
Other than that, who's Elmwood Park?
Let me tell you something. JCA is gonna have a game. I think they're easily gonna get by Elmwood Park. I think that in week 2 of the playoffs, they're gonna end up playing Westinghouse. That's my guess. I mean, I think they'll.
Aren't they good at basketball?
Westinghouse is pretty good at basketball. Football, I don't know. So I think JCA is going to get through Westinghouse. So now you're talking about getting to the quarterfinals, and I think that's the game that's pivotal for JCA. It's going to be Canelan and JCA in the quarterfinals. I think that's where it's going to get to that. And Canelan beat Morse on Friday night, and Canelan is big, mean, bad, and tough. And I think that if JCA is going to win that football game, you guys are going to have to put up points, and you're going to have to play defense, and you're going to have to beat a physical team. Canelan is physical. But before we get ourselves 3 weeks out, let's just talk about this week.
Let's take care of Elmwood Park first.
Yeah, Elmwood Park, I'm going to tell you right now, I think JCA is going to come out and make a statement in this game. I think this game is going to be a big win for JCA, 42-14.
JCA needs to find their defense. I mean, you're going to score points. You got 2 games. Okay, they say you got 2 gimme games this week and next week. Okay, but you need to find your defense. Your defense needs to make a statement. You need to force turnovers. You need to get sacks. You need to stop 3-and-outs and all that other good stuff.
They got to get their defensive line. You guys have to get pressure on the quarterback.
Got to make a statement.
Not give them 5 seconds in the backfield and let their guys get deep. I mean, force them. Send the blitz. Send the house. Make them throw slant passes. Make teams throw quick outs. Don't give a quarterback time to let a guy get deep on you, because that's where JCA's weakest is on the deep pass.
Make him chase.
So,
deep pass.
I just said so.
So, I mean, you can't make them. You got to play defense. You can't let those guys chase. I mean,
yeah.
Defense has to make a statement.
Yep, they do. So, again, I think it's JCA's got, they were blessed, and I think this week they'll show that they're going out to Elmwood Park, and I mean,
wasn't Fat Ricky's originated from Elmwood Park?
Yeah.
Maybe get some Fat Ricky's pizza.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think if we go out there, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Fat Ricky's Elmwood Park. Fat Ricky, there you go, sponsor.
There you go. There you go. Hey, do we charge him for that?
I don't know. Maybe we should.
Yeah.
He's been giving us pizza every week, so what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck?
Give him a plug.
So here we go. And so, all right, so JCA, great. Next game, Plainfield North has to travel to Oswego. And only in week 7, a couple weeks ago, it was 35-7 on that same field in Oswego. When North went to Oswego, North couldn't get nothing going, and Oswego was methodical and just beat Plainfield North up. And I don't know that Plainfield North there's going to be any difference or any change in 3 weeks. I will say though, it's really tough to beat a team twice, especially a team in the same month in a 4-week period.
Adjustments. They got to make adjustments. Plainfield North. I
Yeah.
mean, you're going to a tough house to play.
I love Plainfield North. I said this at the beginning of the season. I thought that Plainfield North, and I still feel that they're a really good football team. We did say, though, that Oswego, with that running, when they're going to get back to that running offense, that they're going to be a tough team, and they proved to be a tough team. They won their conference. They finished 8-1, and they handled Plainfield North. They handled everybody in the SBC. And when I'm talking about handled, I'm talking about handled. Like.
Ouch.
Handled.
That's vicious. They don't do that on other shows. I mean, we're not. I mean, I can't be privy to this.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they beat them up. And so if North is going to have any shot at all, you have to get your offensive line to step up and make blocks. I mean, their offensive line is big, but their offensive line has not played big. And the truth hurts, guys.
Jay Roberts needs to be He needs to be a factor too.
Well, Jay Roberts can't do anything when you got 3 guys in the backfield chasing him before he takes 2 steps. You know, you got to have an offense. Your offensive line has got to step up. You know, Palandek, same thing. Great quarterback, good quarterback. And he's on the run all the time. But he has to run. He's running for his life. You know, they're sending everybody. You got to. And the other thing I don't like about Plainfield North's offense, at least right now, is, you know, they don't have a really great blocking back. I think that is the key. There are 4 to 5 guys that need to step up in this game against Oswego. And if your offense can move the ball, I think this could turn into a shootout because North has got weapons. Mm-hmm. They have weapons. They have offensive weapons, and they should be able to put up more points than 7. Defensively, I'm sorry. I don't care how good Plainfield North steps up, and they have played better. Brett Fox, he's had a good season for them. Brett, another kid that played for me way back when, played for you as well. 49ers. He was a 49er.
Brett Fox?
Yeah, Brett Fox.
Hey, Brett Fox, how you doing?
So Brett's a 3-year starter for Plainfield. You know, linebacker and you know, kind of a receiver extraordinaire on offense, and has done a little bit of both. But I got to tell you, Fox by himself is not enough of a defense. You got to get other people involved. You got to. So again, your linebackers have to step up. You got to fill holes. You got to stop their offense. This is going to be a tough game for North. I'm taking Oswego in this game, and I don't think the score is going to be much different. I think it's going to be 42-14, and you know, the spread's going to be the same, 35-7, 42-14. I don't think the spread changes. I just don't. I don't think that North can stop Oswego, and I don't think that they're going to put it together before they play each other. What do you think?
Depends on adjustments by the coach from Plainfield North. Depends on, like you said, their offensive line. Depends on Jay Roberts. And depends on their quarterback. If he gets time to throw, who knows? You never know. You never know what happens in every given Friday night.
Well, I don't. And you know, if Plainfield North plays anybody else, I think they got a shot of winning. Mm-hmm. But because they're playing Oswego, and I think Oswego is really good this year, I'm not going to give them much of a chance. I think Oswego is a semifinal team at the very least. Mm-hmm. And that said, I think that's going to be a big test. You know, it's going to be a big test. And then, you know, now you're going into week 2, and so I don't know. I think that's going to be a really big game. Mm-hmm. You know, Hinsdale South, man. Let's talk a little bit about Hinsdale South. I mean, Hinsdale South, at one point, he's crying to get you guys in the top 10, so we put you in the top 10, and since then, you haven't done anything with it.
Well, we're in the top 10.
They were in the top 10. You know.
Oh, was I sleeping during the league? I've never seen them in the top 10.
Because they were there and they were gone. They lost. You know, down south.
Down south, Hornet Power.
Yeah, you know, I don't know, but I mean, who do they got this week? You know, they're at Oak Forest. Oak Forest is a 1 seed.
Is that Oak Park River Forest?
No, it's Oak Forest.
Oak Forest.
They're a little bit south. They're on the other side of the, you know.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're on the other side of the Forest Reserve.
Cool. Well, Hinsdale South might be a one and done, but you never know. They play good defense. They have that mobile quarterback, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, we've got, you know, and then you got Morgan Park at Lamont.
Morgan Park. Who's Morgan
6A?
Park? Morgan Park.
Yeah, Morgan Park. Chicago.
School in Chicago? Oh, we don't. I don't get paid. I don't get in the city much, so you know, they don't let me out of the suburbs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Morgan Park. You know, good luck.
Well, I think Morgan Park is you know, a pretty decent football program, and I think Lamont's down a little bit, to be honest with you folks. Lamont has had a good run, but they beat the teams that they should beat. I mean, they haven't really impressed me. Like, they haven't beaten up a team that's a playoff team right now, you know. Mm-hmm. So you know, this is going to be a closer game than people think. I do think Lamont's going to get by, but I don't think that Lamont's going to roll. And you know, so I think Morgan Park could be a scary team for Lamont Indian fans Friday night. But again, it's just one of those things where you think, you know,
they play in Lamont, right? Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Lincoln Way West, you know, those boys out there, new coach. You know, they're in the playoffs, though. I mean, congratulations. That's 3 years in a row.
Did they bubble their way or 6 wins? What?
Yeah, they bubbled. Well, they got in. Yeah, they got their 6 wins. Mm-hmm. But, you know, congratulations. You got to go all the way out to Rochelle. I don't like that game. I mean, Lincoln Way West is a 9 seed, Rochelle an 8 seed. You know, that's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive, especially in traffic. You know, and there's just something about, you know, those teams that are kind of up and north, you know, playing outside, you know, it's going to be, you know, probably a little chilly, you know, weather. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know that Lincoln Way West is going to be able to take that 2 hour trip and then play a football game.
Well, maybe they'll
against a team that's got the home field advantage. So
maybe they'll do what Northwestern does, and they'll take that nap before the game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think we both decided we were going to take Lincoln Way West, but no, you took Lincoln Way West. I took Rochelle.
I took Lincoln Way West because they're another favorite school of mine. So I'm just doing that for picking them just to pick them. I didn't get a chance to go out there and see them this year. I have nothing about them, but it's Lincoln Way West. Come on.
It's Lincoln Way West. So I mean that's it. The playoff pairing this year. I mean, in a nutshell, if you got a chance to watch the IHSA's broadcast on the pairing show, we're in it. Here we are at week 10. Regular season's over, and I don't think there were any surprises. I mean, the only surprise I think were the teams that had lost a couple of games we didn't think we were going to lose, but there were no surprises. The teams that we thought were going to be in the playoffs are there. The teams that we didn't think were going to be there are not there.
Yep.
With the exception of Manuka, I think is the only team that of our area schools that we thought would make the playoffs that isn't in there. I did think that Joliet West was going to slip in with playoff points. I thought they'd get 5 wins this year. If they don't lose their quarterback against Lincoln Way Central, and if they finish out the game at Plainfield South, they're in the playoffs right now. It's that simple. That's why I said they're this close, to making the playoffs, because it was 3-3 at the half. Before they lost their quarterback, it's 3-3 at the half at Sandburg, and then they lose their quarterback, and in the second half they get blown out. They don't have a quarterback to come in and get anything done. They can't throw the ball. They got to change everything. They got to change up their offense, and they have to change up their whole season. And in week 2,
we talking about 8A or
we're talking about Joliet West.
Joliet West.
Joliet West, and then the second week they had Plainfield South. So, I think there are just a couple of teams that are there that that should have made it. Now, the one team that we saved for last is a team that really doesn't get a lot of props, and that's partly because of where they're at. In terms of overall, pizzazz in their conference, and that's HF. Homewood Flossmoor is one of those teams where I'm telling you,
they can gear up for a nice run.
Yeah, you can gear up for a nice run. A Friday night, they didn't shock me, but I think they shocked their conference. They beat Sandburg 21-8. 21-8. So Sandburg, we thought, could have a chance to run the table, go 8-1.
7-2.
7-2. And guess what? HF?
7-2.
There you go. And who are the 2 losses HF faced? A healthy Bolingbrook team.
Yeah.
And a Lincoln Way East squad.
Lincoln Way East.
Those are their 2 losses. The defending 8A state champion Bolingbrook, when they're healthy and they got everybody in a full roster, Aaron Bailey included. And then they play Lincoln Way East. Both times they put up mid-20s in points, but gave up 40. So they lost by 2-3 scores to both teams. But you're talking about the defending state 8A champ last year, and you're probably talking about the 7A champion this year if all the cards play right. So you're talking about two really up top teams that they lost to. Everybody else they beat up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. HF.
O'Fallon?
Yeah. What do you say? O'Fallon a 10 seed?
Well, HF, though, come on. They're gearing up for a nice run. They made it to the quarters last year.
Yep.
They're gearing up for a nice run. They got good Coach Bacias. They're led by a good coach.
They got 6 head coaches on their
6 head coaches.
they got every head coach that you can. I've never seen a school recruit as much coaching talent as they got on the sidelines.
Yeah, you look, there's another head coach. Look this way, there's another coach. But Coach Bacias, he steers the ship.
That's right. So I don't know. I think O'Fallon is going to find out that they do not have any luck of the Irish. Okay, if they, this whole O'Fallon thing and the luck of the Irish, yeah.
Irish.
Let me tell you something. There ain't no 4-leaf clovers in Flossmoor for you. All right, so you guys are going to show up there, and you're going to be quickly dismissed, and I mean dismissed quick. I think this game's going to be a blowout. I think that this is something where those kids are going to be jacked up. I think the game is going to be somewhere along the lines of 55-6 or 7 or 8. They're going to give up 8. They're going to give up one score, but I think O'Fallon's going to be like, oh my God, what do we get ourselves into? And
how good of a team is O'Fallon?
There's 6 wins.
6 wins.
Okay.
Another bubble team.
Plainfield
Central got 6 wins. Going to Lincoln Way East. Play home with Flossmoor. Okay. Hey, home with Flossmoor.
So I don't know. The Magic 8 Ball has done a lot of great stuff for us this season.
No, it hasn't.
But let me tell you something. We don't even need a Magic 8 Ball this week.
Not this week.
Okay, because this week honestly, you don't even have to flip a coin.
No.
You could play pin the tail on the donkey from 20 yards away and still get 90% of these games right. Because in week 1, although it's exciting for the teams that haven't made the playoffs in a long time, it's just a quick week. I mean, unless you're talking about the teams that are 8 and 9 seeds, the teams that are going to be competitive with each other, there's going to be a lot of blowouts. There's going to be a lot of one-sided stuff, and you're going to exit a lot of people out in the first and second rounds.
Back on the bus.
Yep, back on the bus and quickly get through your season. From the quarterfinals on, that's when I really think you're going to whittles down.
That's when the football starts, and that's when the excitement begins. That's where all the defenses get chippy and scores are scores and all that good stuff.
So, and it's been a good football season. I mean, I think we've had a pretty good year.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
I think it was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, yeah.
It's a good year, but I'm not ready to get it over just yet.
Nope.
And I did, in honor of my boys,
No.
I listen. I didn't wear this shirt all year except for one time.
Tell you something.
I wore it one time when I was picking you guys over Lincoln Way East.
Let me tell you something. My boys, Lincoln Way East, are going to be like Sherman marching through Atlanta. They're going right to Champaign.
Yeah.
Mr. Coach Zonar. He's going to be leading the way, and here comes Lincoln Way East. Fuso, Calandro, everybody else. Kyle Vanderhorn. I mean, everybody. Andy Brady. Langendorfer.
Until Lincoln Way East runs into a cannonball in Plainfield or in Providence.
Nope.
You don't think that they're gonna have a tough time with Providence?
No, we'll beat them. Don't beat them because I tell you something. Providence got a good defense. Don't get me wrong.
I'm taking Providence. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Providence got a good defense, but Lincoln Way East can beat you in different phases of the game. Special teams. Okay, they can run a punt back on you. They can run a kickoff on you.
Coach Cox is going to have these kids.
But he hasn't seen the human slinky Tom Fusel Jr. Goes this way, that way. It's like a human pinball. Boop, 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 gone.
Yeah.
Okay, what else you want to know?
Hey, so is this the jersey that they gave you? They gave you
Excuse me. I don't need a jersey. I don't need a jersey. I don't need a jersey to know that the boys are good. Hey, I'm not playing. I'm not out there playing with them.
Hey.
I'm just covering them. And I'm saying a few nice things about them. I don't need a jersey. Hey, I get respect when I go in their state. Hey, Coach Tony, hey, everybody's waving. I'm doing a lot of this. Hey, how's everybody doing? I got good parking spaces, okay? Don't worry about it, Lincoln Way East. Don't worry about nothing, because if they play Providence at your house, he ain't coming, okay?
Actually, I am coming.
He's not going.
Hey, I'm gonna purposely park on the other side of the school like I did last year in week 2.
Let me tell you something.
I'm gonna walk all the way over there and I'll watch Providence whoop.
Hey, let me tell you something. You don't have to worry about it, because if he goes, I'm going too. I'll get the close.
We have to go take 2 games.
Then you're going to go somewhere else, because you ain't going week 2. Don't let him in the building, okay? Because he'll get all upset because he's got to walk. He'll get all upset. Okay, me, I get a good parking space because I'm a nice guy. Okay, him, okay, enough said.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. Week 2 is going to be a lot of fun, or actually Week 11 is going to be a lot of fun, Week 2 in the playoffs. But, the first week here, congratulations, by the way, to all the teams.
Yeah, if you made it, you deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it. It's a long season. Mm-hmm. I know that some of these bubble teams, and some of you 5- and 6-win teams out there that drew really tough seeds, listen, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
Something can happen. Something positive can happen. And you can win this football game.
Yep.
You're not out of it. Just because we're up here babbling. Obviously, we're probably not unlike most of the fans in the state that are going to say, if Lincoln Way East plays Plainfield Central's doomed. That's into the obvious.
Plainfield Central got a shot. If they bring their game, they play above their ability, they have a shot.
Everybody's got a shot.
Everybody's
got a shot, and this is your chance.
Just your chance to tell everybody, I will do the old Italian proverb, but this is TV on Times Weekly. But this is your chance to tell everybody to go, okay? All right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's been a great football season so far. There's a lot more left, and we're going all the way to state. And we're going to see some people downstate. And I'm telling you, there's some good football teams out there that I can't wait to see.
That's right. We're going. You guys in the coverage area.
Rockford, Boylan. Another team that's going to be Glenbard West.
Glenbard West.
Glenbard West is going to be tough. Yeah. And I think Glenbard West is going to go all the way this year. I'm going to make it down to Champaign. And I think that it's either going to be Providence or Lincoln Way East that's gonna play in that 7A game. So if you want to know who I'm picking, I'm not going to tell you who I think is going to win the game, but I'm taking in 5A. I think you're going to see. I know this might be a long shot, but I'm going to stick with my boys. I think JCA Morris, a classic JCA Morris game in a state championship game. I think JCA get by Canelan, and I think Morris is going to get by Chatham, and I don't know. I just think it's going to be a great game. I mean, Sacred Heart and Morris is what I got for that semifinal, and Morris getting past Sacred Heart. So Morrison's got some work to do, and JCA's got some work to do. But what the heck? I'm going to go with that.
Could happen.
Kerry Richards, sorry for all you fellas in 6A. Lamont, I don't think they have much of a shot. Insdale South, not much of a shot. But I am taking Kerry and Richards in the state championship in 6A. In 7A, I'm taking Glenbard West and Lincoln Way East.
That's all right.
I am taking Lincoln Way East. I am letting you. I told in my pool. You can see right here. See, you can't see it through the thing. Yeah. But I did take Lincoln Way East.
That might. Okay, guys, Griffiths.
But I'm gonna still tell you something.
That might be bad.
I think Providence can upset you, and during that week,
the only reason why Providence
depends on what they do against Plainfield Central. If they go against Plainfield Central and Alligator arm it, then
okay. The only way Providence could upset you is you got stale hot dogs in the concession stand, okay? Providence is going to lose to Lincoln Way East. Lincoln Way East is on a mission. They're not on a mission from God. They're on a mission from everybody. They play one game at a time. They're probably not. If we ask Coach Zolinar today, tell us something about Providence, he'll say, oh, we're worried about Plainfield Central. We know nothing about Providence until next week. They're on a mission, guys. Chip on the shoulder. They're ready to go.
Well, you heard it from Big Tone. But Big Tone was wrong last year. I'm just going to remind you.
Because I did something. Let me tell you something.
7-0.
Let me tell you something. Because I did something stupid. I went somewhere else, and I didn't go see you guys, and I let him go. Okay, that's not happening this week. I'm going to week 2. Okay.
Right. Funny thing is I got a feeling I ain't going to see that tape until sometime Sunday afternoon.
I will run my big ugly butt home right from Lincoln Way East to here so we can get it up that same night.
8A, I don't know. I'm really worried about Bolingbrook this year, whether or not they're going to be able to get through this. Right now, there's no guarantee that Aaron Bailey's going to play at all. And Quincy Woods is a good, solid quarterback. He's but he is not an All-American quarterback like Bailey. Bailey can take this team and put him on his shoulders and win.
He's got to come down. He's got to come down from the fortress of solitude,
right?
And come down and see. Maybe put his cape on. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You got to tug on that on the field. But see, I can see why he's not playing. Okay, he's got an MCL sprain. He needs to heal because he's going to college. He's going to start Illinois. So, high school is high school.
Right. Yeah. I agree. If he's even marginal, I don't think that Ivo puts him on the field. I wouldn't. If he's marginal. But I know Aaron Bailey. I know he's going to want to get out there. I know that this is killing him to sit on the sidelines. I know he wants to play. And Aaron Bailey is afraid of no one. And you know why he's not afraid of anyone? And this is probably one of the only times I'm going to say this is, when God is for you, who could be against you? And that's how he lives his life.
I agree.
That's how he lives his life. He lives his life by that statement, and he lives it, he breathes it, he acts it. He's not phony.
Nope.
And
nope. He is.
So you know something? I gotta believe that if God puts him on the field, anything can happen. Mm-hmm. But I do think that you're going to see Loyola, downstate for sure. I think Loyola's going to make it downstate. I think that they're,
Loyola's 8-1.
Even though Maine South,
are they 8-1?
Yeah, they're 8-1, but they lost to a team in Texas. They lost to nobody in state. And
what are they doing in Texas?
Well, it's a travel, it was a non-conference game, and
must be nice to go to Texas and play football.
Yeah, and then
good boosters over there.
You got Maine South. They got to beat Maine South to get down there. Mm-hmm. Maine South is a 1 seed, but Maine South is not as good as Loyola. Sorry, guys. And so I don't think Maine South is going to do anything special. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is I'm still not a big fan of Maine South after a couple years ago what happened downstate. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of details because. It's all hearsay and that kind of stuff. We don't want to get sued by saying anything, but I will just say that I'm not real big fans of Maine South, and as a result, I'm going to stick with Loyola on this one. I think Loyola is going to beat them, and that's that. But I do think that Bolingbrook might have a week 2, letdown. I think Bolingbrook's going to come out big against Sandburg, but they may.
Where they play Naperville North, and Naperville.
They're going to play Neuqua Valley. I think they'll play Neuqua Valley. That's again if Neuqua Valley wins, because Neuqua Valley's playing Naperville North.
Did they go to Neuqua Valley if Neuqua Valley wins?
Yep.
Neuqua Valley's right down the street. We can go there. Hey,
that's a good game, but that's probably where that's where Will's going to be.
Will.
Well,
I thought you were coming, Will. Sunday night. All right. Well, I think that's a different story.
But hey, listen, it's been a great year, but the year ain't over yet for football, and we're going to start inching into basketball season too.
Basketball. Hey, my son, I want to congratulate my son, Steven Saratelli. He made the John J. Lukanzik basketball team. He says, I don't care, but I do. Congratulations, son.
And Coach, you can cash that check now. The check is good.
That's right. Coach Imperdino, that 20 I slipped you, it's good.
It's all good. So, hey, man, we are going to start making the transition into basketball because we got a lot of basketball coming up, which is kind of exciting to me, too, because we get to get indoors. But I ain't ready to give up the cleats yet for football. And I'm looking forward to some snow. I hope the weather gets nasty and garbage. And I just hope.
Do I go back in the closet for basketball, or
no,
I still got to be out?
You've been out of the closet for a long time, man.
Ooh, you outed me on cheap seats. I didn't know I was that way, but okay.
So in any event, I mean,
what a bromance.
We want to thank you guys for joining us throughout the regular season. Catch us every week on the TimesWeekly.com right here for Cheap Seats. It's been the Rooster, Bobby Leach, Southwest Sports Nest, and the Cheap Seats, and TimesWeekly.com.
TimesWeekly.com. Don't forget, they're paying the check, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right.
This is Big Toe, Tony Saratello, wishing everybody good luck out there. All you bubble teams, good luck. You never know what might happen. You got to get up to place. Like they say, you got to play the game. So go there, play the game, see what happens.
Put your cup on, strap up that helmet, and play some football. We'll see you.
No cheerleaders involved.
We'll see you next week right here, only on Cheap Seats.